This is Top 30. Coming up, more than 1 million Ram trucks have been recalled. Have you ever lied to get out of jury duty? We break down who does it the most. And a dad bod has never looked so good. These fathers are helping rescue dogs find new homes. Welcome to the show. I'm Kristen Smith, and here are 30 things you need to know today. Sometimes life is so busy, it's hard to get to the grocery store. But if you can swing it, Wednesdays are the best day of the week to do your shopping. Reader's Digest says midweek is the best for several reasons. Fresh produce, fully stocked shelves, and it's less busy. New specials tend to take effect on Wednesday, so you'll get all the best deals. By the time Wednesday rolls around, the bakery usually has a large selection of reduced and discounted items. And cheeses at the deli like fresh mozzarella and Gouda can be up to half off with sell-by dates that are still 5 days out. And for whatever reason, the Family Magazine says grocery store employees tend to be a little nicer on Wednesdays and are more likely to honor an expired coupon or a rain check you forgot to use. Now let's go to the New York Stock Exchange for our Fox Business Minute with Nicole Petalides. Nicole, there's a recall notice for a popular truck.
That's right, Kristen. More than 1 million Ram trucks are being recalled because of a faulty piece that causes the tailgate to unlatch. Parent company Fiat Chrysler is urging customers to ensure that all loose cargo be secured while driving. The recall affects certain Ram models from 2015 through 2017. Chase is going cardless. The bank is implementing new technology in its ATMs that will let customers get cash through their phone's mobile wallet without a physical debit card or access code for authentication. The U.S. added 157,000 jobs in July, falling below the estimates, and the unemployment rate slipped to 3.9%.
Okay, so which industries added jobs?
Well, the manufacturing sector gained another 37,000 jobs. Employment in construction, healthcare, and social assistance also ticked up. And get this, average hourly earnings rose by 7 cents to $27.05.
That's good news. Thanks, Nicole. The 17 wildfires in California have triggered air quality advisories in neighboring states like Nevada and Oregon. Public officials warn millions of people could be affected by the harmful pollutants and airborne carcinogens given off by the fires, raising concern of respiratory illness. And Oprah Winfrey opened up, describing her perfect date night with her partner of more than 30 years, Stedman Graham.
So my favorite date night is to make him black-eyed peas and cornbread as a surprise for dinner. And then, honey, hush.
And former WWE star Glenn Jacobs was elected mayor of Knox County, Tennessee. Jacobs was a fan favorite as Kane back in his wrestling days, but calls his new position as mayor humbling. And finally, supermarket employee Jordan Taylor's kind gesture toward a teen with autism went viral when he patiently let Jack Ryan stock shelves with him for about half an hour. A GoFundMe was set up for Taylor so he could go to college, and so far it's already raised more than $90,000. Now that's good karma. Danielle Knox from Fox 35 Orlando has what you need to know today. So Danielle, a more serious topic today. I hear you have some not so great news about the opioid epidemic.
Well, Krista, there is some new research out there that suggests doctors are still overprescribing opioids despite the growing epidemic in America. University of Pennsylvania researchers going through records for people who went to the ER for a sprained ankle found that 25% of them received an opioid prescription for that particular injury. If you've ever lost somebody close to you, you know how isolating grief can be. There's no roadmap or guide to how to get through it. But two strangers supported each other through major losses by texting, and their unique friendship inspired them to create an app called Good Grief that connects you to people in a similar situation. The app is free for the first 3 months and then $4.99 a month after that. And new research suggests that poor concentration can be due to dehydration. The Exercise Physiology Laboratory at the Georgia Institute of Technology released new analysis based on 33 different studies focusing on dehydration. It found even mild dehydration can lower cognitive ability and change your mood. They say women should drink about 91 ounces of water a day, men 125 ounces. And that's what you need to know. And Kristen, that water can come from things like coffee and tea and fruit, but still, that is a lot of hydration, right?
Yeah, that's definitely a lot of water, but it's so important to stay hydrated, especially in the summer. Thanks, Danielle. Top 30, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Most Americans believe serving on a jury is an important civic responsibility. But according to a new survey, some 7% have lied to get out of it. More men, 10%, admitted to lying to avoid jury duty. Only 4% of women did. But beware, lying during the jury selection process is a punishable crime. So if you want to get out of it, you'll need to prove financial hardship or work in home circumstances that legally prevent you from serving. Beyond lying, the YouGov survey also learned how Americans perceive jurors. Fewer than 30% believe most jurors rule without bias. Twice as many believe jurors don't understand the laws they're being asked to apply. Still, a majority of those surveyed would rather be tried by a jury of their peers than a judge, and that is the truth. Now let's go to Andrea Robinson from Fox 10 Phoenix. She has this week's life hacks. So Andrea, what do you have for us?
Hey Kristen, this week's life hacks, we start in the kitchen. The worst when you're starting a recipe and you don't have an ingredient. So if you don't have honey, there's a simple way to make it. 1 1/4 cup of sugar mixed with 1/4 cup of water. Cook it down, dissolve it. It will get syrupy and it will act just like honey for that next recipe. We're gonna stick with the cooking theme. This is also the worst thing. You oversalt a dish, a sauce or a soup. You can completely fix it. Take a peeled potato, stick it in the sauce or the soup, and that will absorb the excess salt. And how about this one? We're all still spending a lot of time outside. You're drinking a delicious drink, sipping away, and there's bugs in it. Well, this will help combat that. Take a cupcake liner, place it upside down over the top of your cup, stick your straw through that, and just like that, no more bugs. Kristen, those are your life hacks this week. Back to you.
Always great stuff. Thanks, Andrea. Well, this mistake could make airplane emergencies even more dangerous. This month, a Ryanair flight in Spain had to be evacuated when a cell phone caught fire. Video from the scene shows several passengers going down the emergency slide with their carry-on bags. Grabbing those bags can slow down an escape or even puncture evacuation slides. Flight safety experts are concerned the trend is getting worse, partly due to the increasing value of the items people carry on, like medication and electronics. Fees for checked baggage have also prompted flyers to bring more items on board. England's Royal Aeronautical Society wants lawmakers to study whether overhead luggage bins should be locked before takeoff. The U.S. National Transportation Safety Board wants a study of luggage slowing down evacuations. Locks could discourage passengers from taking too long to evacuate, but currently laws say the bins have to be accessible. On many flights, they contain life-saving equipment like defibrillators and oxygen tanks. Some think that adding extra steps for the crew would be just as dangerous as passengers grabbing their luggage. Top 30, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Top 30. If you happen to be in the market for a car, this one's fit for a king, or at least a prince. An Audi station wagon that reportedly belonged to Prince Harry has been listed for sale by a UK dealer on AutoTrader. The 2017 RS6 Avant is going for just under £72,000, almost 94 grand in American dollars. That's because Harry ordered more than £11,000 in options. Those include a panoramic sunroof, heated seats, and privacy glass to keep a low profile. The dynamic package lets the car hit 174 miles per hour, fitting for someone who used to pilot Apache helicopters. Harry used the Audi to take Meghan Markle to Pippa Middleton's wedding last year. The editorial director of AutoTrader called the Audi perfectly suited to any aspiring royal and said it begs the question, why is the prince selling so soon? Maybe he's on the market for a bigger family car. Financing is available, but you'll have to learn how to drive on the other side of the car. Well, here's an interesting story. Studies have shown heading a ball in soccer can impact the brain, and new research says headers may have a greater impact on women. The new study was done by doctors at the Albert Einstein College of Medicine and published in the journal Radiology. They focused on 49 women and 49 men ages 18 to 50. Each female player was compared to a male player who was the same age and had similar characteristics. Doctors analyzed MRIs and found the brain tissue in female brains had a greater sensitivity to repetitive low-level injuries compared to men. They're not sure why that happens, but said it could have to do with hormones or that women typically have less body mass and muscle. And researchers said this report isn't about concussions. Instead, it focuses on impact that doesn't cause any immediate issues, but could be problematic in the long term. Okay, a Florida barber has gone viral after pretending to cut off a 10-year-old's ear during a haircut.
Oh, dude, oh my, oh My God.
Is that my ear?
Yeah.
2 months ago, young Vito De Palma used a fake cockroach to prank Jude Santacandro, the family's longtime barber. Well, Jude vowed revenge, but the boy said he wasn't scared and he was too old to cry. So with a rubber ear, vampire blood he ordered online, and the permission of Vito's parents, Jude accepted the challenge. After pretending to cut Vito's ear with an electric razor, cameras rolled for some 3 minutes as fake blood flowed and pressure was applied with paper towels. Jude even winked to the camera as Vito called for his mom. Finally, the truth.
Do you remember that roach prank where you said I couldn't make you cry?
Yes.
You're fine.
But I did not cry.
Despite a little backlash, Jude stands by his prank, saying it was tailor-made for Vito, an old soul he's been styling since he was a baby. Your move, Vito, and Top 30 will be right back. In today's Hometown Stories from Fox 13 Tampa Bay, the nonprofit organization Tampa Crossroads is dedicated to getting veterans back on their feet. They help vets who have fallen on hard times find stable housing. Vets like Bruce Jasmine, he struggled to stay in his home because his job didn't pay enough to keep his family afloat. But Tampa Crossroads helped him with the down payment on a house and even got some household items to make the move-in easier. Bruce says he's extremely grateful for all the support.
Don't be afraid to ask for help if they will come and help you.
In our second story from Fox 29 Philadelphia, 7 years ago, Haley Tusky and her then boyfriend got into a terrible car accident during her high school senior week. While her boyfriend only had minor injuries, Haley ended up breaking her neck in 2 places. Many thought she'd never be able to walk again, but Haley thought differently. She's training hard in physical therapy, and she has no doubt in her mind that one day she will walk again. And her community believes in her too. Every year they organize a fundraiser called Hugs for Haley, which helps raise money for Haley's rehab costs. And in our final story from Fox 4 Dallas, Francis Senevi and Nancy Doty are good friends. And for the past 8 years, they've spent every Tuesday night at the Tarrant Area Food Bank. They help prepare fresh meals that are flash frozen and then distributed to 13 counties in Texas. The food bank prepares 25 million meals every year, and 250,000 of those meals were personally prepped by Francis and Nancy. And around the food bank, they are affectionately known as the Golden Girls. Welcome back to Top 30. It's a tale as old as time, and it turns out one of the most popular musicals in the country. According to Dramatics magazine, Beauty and the Beast topped the list for the most performed high school musical in 2018. And it's easy to see why. It's a familiar story filled with big production numbers and catchy songs.
Beauty and the Beast.
Rounding out the top 5 were other musicals that feature tried and true classic stories. Coming in second was The Addams Family, followed by The Little Mermaid. The 4th most popular was Stephen Sondheim's Into the Woods, which is an adaptation of fairy tales by the Brothers Grimm. And in 5th place, Cinderella. The editor of Dramatics magazine, Don Corthers, says many high school theater programs face similar constraints, which lead to many choosing to produce the same shows. He told NPR most high school teachers need a big cast, lots of female roles, and something that won't scare your grandma. But the reach of these amateur productions is huge. Dramatics estimates almost 50 million people attend high school theater performances every year. Well, in the world of travel, there are so many iconic must-see cities, but many news sites are giving the old classics a run for their money. Elizabeth Stanton from Popstar Magazine gives us a tour of one of those places. Hi, Liz.
Yes, Kristen, Dubai is one of the fastest growing cities in the United Arab Emirates. Suddenly hot on the radar, A-listers love the city, from its mega modern center to the miles of barren desert dunes. If you can imagine it, Dubai can build it. And some of the man-made sites that have put Dubai on the map, including the world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa, massive shopping malls that offer everything you can imagine, and even an indoor snow park where you can ski, toboggan, zip line, orb, and hang out with penguins. Despite its growth, Dubai has held on to its traditional heritage too. And Old Dubai offers entertainment, historic neighborhoods, and traditional Arab markets. Here's a question. Have you heard of dune bashing? It's a great way to see the vast Arabian desert, or there's a slower option, ride a camel. You almost have to see it to believe it, Kristen. Dubai is incredible. Back to you.
Yeah, it's crazy how much Dubai has developed in the past few years. Thanks, Liz. All right, you're not going to believe this story. A pregnant woman in Alberta, Canada, ordered a latte at McDonald's, but what she got instead was a cup of chemicals. Sarah Douglas was 32 weeks along with her third child when she stopped by the drive-thru. Once she got back on the highway, she took a sip of her latte and immediately pulled over and spit it out. Douglas said, "I opened up the lid of the coffee and out pours this pungent smell of chemical. It wasn't a latte at all." She drove back to the McDonald's to speak with a supervisor, where it was discovered that 2 cleaning lines filled with a chemical solution were still hooked up to the latte machine. Douglas called poison control and got lucky she hadn't actually ingested the acid-based solution. She went to her family doctor, and both she and her unborn baby appear to be fine. The owner of the McDonald's where the incident happened, Dan Brown, issued a statement apologizing to Douglas and said, "McDonald's is renowned for its food safety protocols, and I am sorry that this happened in my restaurant here in Lethbridge." Douglas said her goal is just to get the story out so restaurants enforce safety measures and this doesn't happen to anyone else. A woman named Ricky Beeson has found a super cute and funny way to help find homes for rescue dogs. The photographer put together an adorable calendar called Dad Bods and Dogs. Beeson said, "I wanted to pair rescue dogs with guys doing your typical dad activities, like going to the grocery store, grilling out for the 4th of July, or having a pool party." She collaborated with Dallas area rescue shelters to get the dogs for the shoot and found her Dad Bod models through social media and friends of friends of friends. "We have so much negativity, and there's so much reason to not smile," Beeson said. "I want to bring lightheartedness back into people's lives, and I'm hoping the calendar does that." They will ship out in September, and all the proceeds are going to the 3 shelters in Dallas that helped her out. Welcome back. A new report finds there's one major way to help your kids become safe drivers. Be a safe driver yourself. The study determined parents who speed, take selfies, or drive under the influence have kids that are more likely to do the same. 37% of parents admitted to using apps while driving, compared to 38% of teens. And a similar result for taking selfies while driving. 14% of parents and 15% of teens said they did it. And parents and teens have the same rate of driving under the influence of alcohol or marijuana, about 9%. Only 54% of parents changed when told they were doing something dangerous behind the wheel. So make sure to set an example in the driver's seat. Your child's driving habits could depend on it. Scientists are warning about a possible effect of climate change that could wipe out something you use every day: the internet. More hurricanes, coastal flooding, and rising sea levels are all expected to be major environmental issues over the coming years. Researchers at the University of Wisconsin and the University of Oregon compared maps of internet infrastructure to sea level rise projections by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. NOAA's worst case scenario is a sea level rise of 1 foot over the next 15 years. If that happens, 4,000 miles of internet cable would be underwater. On top of that, flooding would impact more than 1,000 data centers, potentially knocking out internet service to much of the country. The study recommended constructing seawalls, rerouting internet traffic, and waterproofing cables. And researchers say they're not done. They're looking into other environmental risks that could impact internet infrastructure. People who don't get health coverage through their jobs will soon be able to buy new short-term health insurance. Under new federal guidelines, the plans will last just under 12 months, but can be renewed for about 3 years. Until now, short-term plans were limited to 3 months. The Department of Health and Human Services says the new plans will be cheaper than many of the ones offered under the Affordable Care Act. That's because they don't have to comply with many of the same laws. Many plans won't cover prenatal or maternity care. They'll also tend not to cover mental health or substance abuse treatment. Some won't cover prescription drugs. The new rules let insurance companies place limits on how much they'll spend on a patient's care every year. The rules also let insurance companies deny coverage to those with pre-existing conditions. Some health advocates say the new plans are buyer beware. Insurance companies can begin selling them starting this fall. Welcome back. The season of back-to-school shopping is almost here, and according to the National Retail Federation, families with kids in kindergarten through high school will spend an average of $684.79. The 3 biggest categories for spending are clothing, shoes, and electronics. The average parent is planning on spending more than they did last year, but Consumer Reports says waiting till after school starts can be a good time to find a deal on some items. These 16 states have tax holidays during summer. Parents can stock up without having to pay sales tax on certain dates. Shopping the old-fashioned way in an actual store can help save on shipping. Large stores like Best Buy and Target will also match competitors' prices. But if you do shop online, price comparison apps like ShopSavvy or Honey will help find you the best price. It's no wonder 87% of parents say back-to-school shopping stresses them out. And that's it for today's show. Here's what's coming up on the next Top 30. A new report warns that certain types of food containers could be dangerous. Plus, an amusing museum might be the first of its kind. And a dog who has a tough time getting around finds a new best friend. You can also listen to today's biggest stories on the Top 30 podcast. It's all coming up on the next Top 30.